All right. So level up number one is to just simply create a new background. Sometimes a new change is all you need to get your character or your players engaged. So let's take a look at what that looks like in Scratch. Now this can be different if it's a maze game or if it's a chase game or things like that. But I'm going to use the Pong game, but you can use this for a clicker game, for example, where your score gets to a certain level and you want to change the screen. So what you want to make sure you do first is you want to look at your backdrops. You want to make sure you have a couple backdrops that you want. To do that, you go in and you click on the stage menu and you go into backdrops tab and you go to the bottom and you choose a backdrop. And you can pick any one of these backdrops that are here. Let's say I want to use concert. I'll put that as an example. But my backdrop that I want to start with is the neon tunnel. That's important because when we go into our events, we want to do when sprite is clicked at the very beginning of every game we play, we want to start at the backdrop to neon tunnel because we're going to make it change. All right? So we want to start at the beginning every time. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to make a forever loop that forever it's checking this statement, this condition, this if statement. So if, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a score. So if yours scores really quickly, you might want to do like a score of 50. But if yours is like a Pong game where every time it hits, it only scores 1 point, you might want to do something really quick. So for instance, we're just going to use an operator block, and it's going to look for an operator where whatever's in here is greater than 2. It could be 5, it could be 8, whatever you want to put in there, that's fine. We're going to put our variable of score in there. Remember your base game, it had a score variable that you created where every time it hits the paddle, okay, every time you touch the paddle, which is this guy, it adds a point. So that's what that does. Now back to it. If our score is greater than 2, we are going to just simply change our backdrop. And we could pick a backdrop, or we can just use next backdrop so that when we test it, we're going to see how it goes. This is a really slow Pong game. 1. And then at 3, because 3 is greater than 2 and 2 is not greater than 2. There we go. Whoa. Okay, that's probably not what we want. So we're going to pause it. And we're not going to do next backdrop. What we're going to do is we're going to switch backdrop to something else. And I'm going to choose desert. Okay, so whenever we press play, this is what we call debugging. What happened was every time it was greater than 2, it kept checking. Remember that forever loop. And it would just go to the next backdrop. So you saw a repeating backdrop. So it's going to go in, and I'm going to speed it up. It's a very difficult game. Oh, good. And it changed to our desert. So that is a simple way that you can make level 2 and level 3 and level 4 and level 5. You can just take this code and copy it with it, which is Command C, and then paste it, and it makes another copy of it. And you can make an algorithmic progression, which is step by step. And then at 4 points, it'll change to, concert. 8 points, 12 points, whatever you want to do, whatever number of levels you have. So that's how you can use levels to make yours better.